What's the crack, lads? I just wanted to make this quick demonstration of my A-star pathfinding system on my upcoming game. Listen, that name may or may not change, but this system isn't new. I made this like almost probably over a year ago, and haven't touched it since. But now I'm returning to it just to mainly take videos of it and see where I'm at with it, because I haven't looked at it in a while. But basically, the premise of this is that in this game, you have this monster. I just have the temporary name, the Slinger. You'll see why in a second. But basically, he acts like a monkey in the way that he attempts to swing between branches as a full AI with no human intervention. And so with normal AI, usually it's quite simple using Roblox's AI pathfinding on the ground. But when you're in the air, you have to do everything on your own. So that's where I'm going to demonstrate this system, which you'll find quite interesting. So I'm going to play it first, and you will see how he will pathfind nodes and then follow a path. He'll swing, he'll walk on branches, he'll swing from branch to branch, and then when he gets close enough in range, he will sling this guy up into the tree. And I'll demonstrate that now, and then I'll explain it as we go, or after. Alright, so in this scenario, we can see here that he did exactly what I said. He pathfound through different branches using these nodes, and when he got to his destination, he got in range. Then he was able to sling up this character here. And so what you'll notice about this node structure is most of these nodes aren't hitting anything, and so these are grayed out. These are nodes you cannot use. You can see these ones are slightly darker, and so basically the algorithm demonstrates with these nodes. The blue one is the current node he's moving to, the red one is the target node, and when a node is bigger, it means an action, either jumping or swinging. And so if we play it again from the beginning, but just move him over here, we will see the demonstration of when he creates a plane of nodes. Each node raycasts down to find a surface. If it doesn't find a surface, then it's empty space. If the empty space was right before one that wasn't empty, then it's possible to jump from that branch. And then to find the target branch, it raycasts around also, and it finds whatever branch is in range. And it does all sorts of other fail safes, so that if it doesn't find a branch, then it will expand its area. It will rotate the plane in case the environment is tilted, and so it will do it diagonally. You see these blacked out nodes. It does it in rows, it does it in lines. It tests every line, and then if it's not found, it blacks it out. If it's probable, then it uses the blue to indicate that it's useful, and then it follows that path and he makes the jumps. And so in that scenario, he will make readjustments as he needs to. If he can't find the path, if he can't get there, he restarts, and he keeps trying different solutions until he finds a new one. And if worse comes to worse, you will see in this next demonstration, then he actually resorts to walking, which I'll show now. So in this next demonstration, he starts on the ground, and you'll see how he actually prioritizes moving on the ground instead of attacking, because in this scenario he's meant to be scared because he's quite powerless on the ground. and so he pathfinds around until he gets to the nearest tree, and then he continues his search for the nearest target. And so he leaps over, and when he's in range and when he's comfortable, he'll perform the sling. Another interesting thing, after he finishes this animation, if he finds he has nothing to attach the player to, then he will drag them along the ground, and he will find the nearest tree, climb up, and then he will finish his animation. And then you can see here it's exhausting every option in a worst case scenario when he could not find any other node. That was a deprecated feature I had, but in worst case scenarios on the ground it could be left in. But in these scenarios you cannot use every node, so it's best to keep regenerating until you find a best solution with bigger zones and such and such. So yeah, that is my pathfinding system, but I will give you a demonstration of what it looks like for the player as well, because that's kind of more entertaining. And so here is probably the most entertaining demonstration when you're on the ground as a player and you can witness from the ground the actual character, and you can obviously kill the character, and once he's finished with him he comes this direction and he keeps pathfinding until he gets to me, which I'll try and make it hard for him, but he's fairly fast and he's fairly good at choosing the best path to get to me. I say that as he's gone the other direction, but once he finds his bearings and he has enough trees to work with, there's nothing stopping him then. And so here's in range, cuts to a cutscene. As he reels in, it's a bit off center because he was not stood correctly, and he fell over in the humanoid, but you can see then he slung me up too, so as a player then you cannot do anything, and you have to wait for either your rope to crack by itself over time or have another player shoot your rope down, similar to games like Dead by Daylight. The last demonstration I'm going to do is shooting them down, which isn't that interesting, but I'll demonstrate it anyways. But it takes 2 shots with this gun, and so after he's finished with this, in his weird way he decides to do it. That's because of this part. That was a debug part that I had on, which I took off, but he ragdolls, and so the intended feature then is that you would be able to drag him with you and collect your reward for him. So yeah, that's my demonstration, and hopefully this game's development I finish, preferably this year, but mainly that was the demonstration of this AI, which was coded all by me, but obviously due to AI being so popular nowadays, that would make systems like this even more optimized by allowing AI to think for itself and remember more, hold more data, and learn as more players interact with it and keep memory. So be interesting to see, but he was ahead of his time for a year or 2 years ago when I made him. But yeah, that's my demonstration. Hopefully you enjoyed, or if you have any questions about it or want to learn how to do it yourself, let me know. See you later.